A 21-year-old genius made a robot that tracks famous celebrity private jet flights. It's been plastered on every news article and has pissed off Elon Musk, Taylor Swift, and that strange rapper from the 90s with songs that no one can remember. So instead of reading these news stories again or listening to people argue on the internet, I'm just going to teach you how he did it, step by step. A bit of a disclaimer. I'm a software engineer, not your lawyer. If you follow this tutorial and the Swifties come after you, just know it's your fault, not my fault. Your fault. So to get started, we're going to need to learn the 4 most important letters in your life. ADSB. Say it with me. ADSB. ADSB. ADSB stands for Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast. Yeah, it's a mouthful. So in about 10 minutes after this video, when you're standing on your roof installing an antenna, just scream ADSB anytime someone asks you what the hell you're doing. ADSB is a type of signal that's used to track planes in the sky. It's been the law in the US since 2020 for airplanes to have ADSB, and the Europeans have had it on the books since 2017. To understand how it works, you need to first understand radar. Radar sends radio signals out into the air and waits for the signal to collide with objects, then sends some of the signal back. ADSB, on the other hand, is transmitted by the planes itself. The signal sends information like weather, speed, geographical location, and can be relayed by other planes or picked up by transponders on the ground. Last I checked, they even got satellites relaying this. You ever flown on an airplane? And the pilot says there's turbulence coming, and then within a few minutes the plane starts shaking uncontrollably and you're sitting wondering, well, how did they know that? ADSB. So you got an idea of what ADSB is. Now how are we going to use it to follow Daddy Musk around? Second thing you're going to learn is about tail numbers. No, not those tail numbers. These tail numbers. All planes have tail numbers. You can usually spot them on the side of the airplane. Think of it as a license plate for the sky, but instead of your vanity plates, tail number owners can be looked up on the FAA website. It's public information, so have fun going down that rabbit hole. If you want to find your favorite celebrity's tail number, just Google it. It's there. If you want to know the secrets of how it gets there are actual people called plane spotters that sit all day at airports with binoculars watching planes take off and land. Sometimes they go and see who comes in and out of these planes. Kind of like the paparazzi of the sky. What do I know about why people do this? But it's a real thing. Now we need to make a receiver to put on top of your roof. You can make your own ADSB receiver with a Raspberry Pi, a coat hanger, and some duct tape. Or you can buy a kit off Amazon for $169. Link in the description below. Duct tape the antenna to your shingles. Run a long USB-C wire to connect to the Raspberry Pi. We've got some programming to do. First, we'll need to put ReadSB on the Raspberry Pi. Scrolling through the GitHub's repository README, we see that there's 2 ways that we can install it. We can download ready files from this third party, or if you're feeling really adventurous, you can download it and build it from source, right here. Once installed, we'll need to write a quick script to get the antenna data. Import these libraries and make a socket connection to your server. Here's the file that gets updated when ReadSB detects a signal, and we'll add a variable to track the last time we got data from the antenna. We'll make a function that reads content inside the file and parses the data into this JSON object. If the JSON content is newer than our variable, we'll add an aircraft object that is the latest latitude and longitude that was seen in the last 10 seconds. We want to avoid viewing old aircraft data here. We'll update our variable to the latest timestamp data, and we'll set this function to run for every second. Now, onto the backend. Create a socket file and import these libraries to connect to it. Set up the socket server. Each time the server gets new data, save it into your database. We'll start listening on port. And since we want to show this data on a map later, we'll set up an emit to send the data out. Lastly, we'll want to generate a map for users to see planes in the sky. We'll use Mapbox for our map. We'll import the Mapbox libraries to populate the map and put it into a container to view it. Add some styling and position it correctly to make it look pretty. Get a token from Mapbox and initialize the map. Change the coordinates so it shows your current location. We'll add the socket connection and point it to our server. We'll add a little function. Each time you receive new data, go through a list of aircraft objects that were created on the antenna file. If we already added it, update the location. Otherwise, we'll create a new marker and add it on the map. Now set up a website, get a domain that's catchy, and you're done. Congratulations. You too can get threatened by Taylor Swift's lawyers. An update. Since the writing and recording of this video, there's been major news story reported that Congress has amended an FAA bill that will allow celebrities to register their planes fully anonymously. Every single news article that I've read has stated, and I quote, "This will make it extremely difficult, borderline impossible, to track private jet activity." Here's the thing. It won't. Celebrities aren't changing their planes every day, and once you learn the tail numbers of a plane and the person inside of it, you can follow it using everything learned in the video you just watched. Happy tracking!